Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Lynette Sheard. On behalf of Gregory Burrus Productions, we are interviewing these amazing people weekly, monthly, whenever he asks. But, you know, we are documenting history. We are documenting history makers. And our history maker tonight is CCMinton. Now, I have some information about CC, and I'm sure she's a very popular woman in a sense that she has made an impact in this community so much that it has warranted just this opportunity to continue to document her moves. But my question, what does CC stand for? Is CC an acronym for something, or is your name actually CC?
Well, my real name is Cecilia, but I got the name CC when I was in 7th grade when I lived in California, and it kind of just stuck. So I'm known as CC. No one really calls me Cecilia.
Do your close friends and family, you know, of course your family does, but do your close friends know that you're a Cecilia, or they just automatically call you CC?
You know, people who I grew up with, you know, high school and before, they call me Cecilia.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The kids, if you will. Yeah.
So we're talking to CCMinton, Cecilia, and her tagline is, I love beautiful spaces, which means everyone deserves to own the real estate they love. What exactly does that mean?
So I'm a pretty creative person, but I decided to name my business I Love Beautiful Spaces because it was exciting to me. And I've always loved real estate. And so when I decided to switch careers, if you will, transitioned like a lot of us, I decided to do another thing that I love, and that is help people to get what they want when it comes to real estate investing. And I love to work with women too.
So do you have a background in real estate? Because that's a big nut to crack. And there's so many different forms of support as it relates to real estate. So how exactly did you even get, you know, it's such a big thing. I mean, real estate means so much. So what exactly, like narrow it down a little bit. So how did you even do this?
So for many years, I was involved in real estate from the family perspective. So we've owned 3 different homes throughout the marriage. We've invested in real estate in state and out of state as well. So I was instrumental with that. I have a knack for research and finding incredible spaces that you can renovate them and turn them into a gem, if you will. I just love beautiful spaces inside and outside. And I love, I think most people do. It's just beauty is different for different people.
Yeah. And you know, beauty is subjective. And coming from an investment property perspective and beginning as a family business or you know, at least getting the entree into that, you know, what exactly, when you say a beautiful space, you're talking about the entire house? Is there a specific focus? Is it the internal? Is it the external?
For me, it's more of the internal, the architecture. Like, for example, my beautiful space that I live in now, it was like, gosh, it was not a beautiful space when I found it, but I could look past what was there. So I've renovated, done a lot of renovations. I still have some to go, but it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home with 4 fireplaces. I call it a diamond in the rough. The ceilings are 14-foot ceilings. No one would have ever wanted this place except those who like to flip homes. I was able to get the home because the flippers could not offer the price that they wanted in order to flip it and make a profit. So I was willing to live in the home. So I was able to come in at full asking, which really was not a lot of money. And so I got lucky in that way. And this was before like the hot market we're in now. This was like
CC. Now, CC could almost be crazy talking about renovation. Most people think renovation and want to run, or having the connections to see, first of all, to see a diamond in the rough, but even to see past that diamond in the rough, but the ability to build, I guess, another C could be collaboration, is to bring a team together that, first of all, that sees your vision, or how did you articulate the vision? Because even the flippers didn't want it.
Right.
So how did you articulate?
I always look for a home that has good bones. So the ceilings, I didn't realize in all of the rooms that they were as high as they are, because it was like a drop ceiling. But we moved the drop ceiling, the contractor, I worked with contractors. Some of the work I did do on my own. It was amazing because the house was like used as a rental. I use it as a single family. So actually all of the original molding was intact. The floors needed to be redone. I had new floors put in on the first level, new kitchen. But really what makes a space beautiful to me is what an individual would like to put in the space that makes them feel that it's beautiful. And for me, I always wanted a baby grand piano. So that was like the first thing that I put in the space that was that didn't come from my old space. Everything else I just kind of brought in from the other house that I lived in, because I love those things anyway. So beauty is really in the eye of the beholder.
You know, thinking of beautiful spaces and your opportunity to work within the White House, you know, to work with Michelle Obama, the Obamas when they were in the White House. Can you talk about that experience and talking about beautiful spaces and what exactly did you do, you know, with the Obamas, with the White House in you know, and thinking of the beautiful spaces? Because I do have another question about contractors too, but we're talking about just creating something. I mean, what a beautiful space the White House is, and you know how each president makes it their own beautiful space. You know, it's transformed many times. So what exactly did you do at the White House?
So at that point in time, I had not transitioned into being the founder of I Love Beautiful Spaces. That's kind of like my past life, if you will.
Oh.
Yes. So in 2016, I was awarded the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition on their Community Leadership Award. So I was heavily involved in fitness and healthy eating. And so what I did was creatively, I contacted Michelle Obama's chef. And I just sent an email and I said, I would like to come to the White House just to share a book that I had written. It's called Daddy's Greek Potato Pie. And that never happened. However, I was invited to cover the kids' White House state dinner. So yeah, the East Room is a very beautiful space, but I did not help to create that space. I was there on a mission of, you know, health and nutrition and living a healthy lifestyle.
All right, CC. All right. You know, when people say CC carbon copy or CC extra, add these things. Okay, chef, grand piano in your beautiful space. Can you play the piano? No, my do, but I don't. My list. Oh, you know, it's interesting because it's all, you know, when you talk about your beautiful spaces, and thank you for clarifying the White House connection, because that actually is a wonderful lead into the other things that you do as far as an entrepreneur and fitness. And I think I read somewhere boxing. Oh, yes. Did I see that? Yes. So I'm not a boxer, but for a couple of years, I was the president of an organization. It's called Stevenson and Moses Boxing for Life. And I'm not sure if you've heard of Shakur Stevenson. He is like the hottest boxer around. He's out in Newark, New Jersey, and he's undefeated. So I had the opportunity of running the organization.
And that was a wonderful experience. I learned a lot about boxing, but I never made it into the boxing room.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, again, you seem to put yourself into these spaces that, while I guess on the surface may not seem to connect, but all seem to connect. Yes. In a sense, as far as the holistic approach to beauty, you know, talking about the, you know, the visual beauty of a beautiful space, but the internal beauty of health, you know,
absolutely,
you know, people taking care of themselves, whether it boxing, eating right, you know, starting with children, you know, yes. to begin with this, you know, the seeds. So children, you know, and running the many programs that you do as far as, you know, with the children's programs, what do you think that you got what was the biggest takeaway from that?
You mean in terms of the health and fitness community, or?
Yes, the health and fitness community, especially with, you know, with children.
Well, the reason why I wrote the book, Daddy's Greek Potato Pie for Children, is because I realize, especially mothers, and I'm not saying fathers don't, but mothers, they do everything for their children. They think for their children. They go to the schools for their children. Like, they do homework with their children. Like, they're connected to the children. And I think in a way that fathers aren't. It doesn't mean that fathers don't love their children, but mothers have a different kind of connection. Mm-hmm. So I find that mothers and women years ago didn't pay so much attention to themselves. So I intentionally wrote a book that you would have to hold in your hand and sit down and read it to your child versus having it on some type of technology. Because what happens? The child goes over into the corner, or they're in bed and they're actually looking at the device alone at sometimes. So I figured I would have the greatest impact on a mother or on women if I kind of like forced them to sit down to read the book. Mm-hmm. And they would hear the story, and then children have this way of, Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. So the children would draw the attention to healthy eating for the mother. So that was the reasoning why the book never was in a digital form.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. You know, that connection, you know, because really connection is everything, you know, mm-hmm. taking something full circle, and in mental health, we call it a therapeutic alliance.
Yes.
You know, that we understand what we're both trying to get from something, and we're fully vested in the outcome of beauty, of good health, of I love you, I see you, I mm-hmm. care about you, you know, in those things that connect to us. So I want to just jump back to, because there seems to be a common thread through all of this, and it seems to be connection, but in different layers, where you're almost like creating a human being with the internal, the external, the different things that you've been involved in. So a diamond in the rough, you know, housewarming gifting society. I love beautiful spaces, the healthy eating, the fitness, the real estate, the entrepreneurship, the taking a diamond in the rough and creating something, seeing past something. Mm-hmm. Can you explain a little bit about a diamond in the rough?
Yeah, so Diamond Rough is a signature program that I put together, and it's basically the blueprint of how I created a gem out of my diamond in the rough. Mm. It's like every little detail in terms of contractors, in terms of if you have private money, if you have public money, if you have a 203K program that you're working with, how to work with your, you know, 203K, like all of the details, what to look for when working with a contractor. Not all contractors are created equally, you know, just the nuts and bolts of how to get the job done, because it's a journey. In terms of permits, in terms of approvals, in terms of just all of the things that it takes to make the final product.
That might be a contractor calling, huh?
One of my clients. Sorry, let me just hang up.
It's all right, because just the thought of it, you got to be formidable. I mean, there's so many, building your team is very important.
Yes.
And trusting, people investing money that they don't have, or, insecure about the whole process, to have some type of blueprint, I'm sure, at least allows people, just as the book reading to the child, to take a breath, to just kind of slow down a bit. Let's kind of absorb all this information so that people can make an intelligent decision.
Yes.
So the Housewarming Gift Society, it almost seems to kind of flow here. So can you explain that?
So the Housewarming Gifting Society, I have a very, very much a nonprofit background. I was a stay-at-home mom for about 15 years. So I did a lot of community work. So I always have to have some type of program or connection with the community. So the Housewarming Gifting Society, I'm going to read it right to you. It's a group of philanthropic donors who are committed to providing household items, furnishings, or design expertise to those who are recovering from housing insecurity. And very, very important to me when COVID kind of took the world by storm, you really were able to see some of the insecurities within the community, within different communities, with women. And so, I'm always grateful for the opportunities that God has put in my space. And so, I can't give away a house at this point, but I said, you know what, let me find some key people that I know. It's pretty much by invitation only at this point to join the society that would be instrumental and would love the idea and embrace the idea of helping others, whether they need a chair or a lamp or window treatments, any type of household item, the society can provide that. So we're looking to partner with organizations throughout the United States. I think I'm in about 5 states so far. But one of the things that we recently we did, I supported the Home Corps Montclair. They actually support affordable housing in the Montclair community. So they hosted a chocolate, wine, and friends Zoom event. And so I just, invited, maybe 10 people, 4 people were able to make it. And we enjoyed the evening together. It was an outdoor, small tented event, but it was a way to support housing insecurity, within the community.
Wow.
So that's pretty much what the Gifting Society is.
We talked about, beautiful spaces, the referral network of A Diamond in the Rough, Housewarming Gifting Society. We've talked about what the CC means, or, the origin of that. How does someone find out more about you? How can people connect to you to ask questions or just to connect to you?
They can always visit my online space. It's www.ilovebeautifulspaces.com. You can also find me at CCMinton.com. I'm on Facebook, social media, both CCMinton. Just reach out to me. I love people. I love to work with people. I love talking about owning your own home. I love talking about investing. I've done some investments as well. And I just like to encourage people, because believe me, you don't have to be a pro at any of this. As long as you have the desire to learn and you have a goal, that's pretty much it. I can get you from point A to Z.
How encouraging is that? And, we haven't talked about COVID once. I think that the interesting thing about this conversation is where we are as far as like a vaccine, and where we're all kind of taking a breath, to kind of see what's coming next, to develop some type of new normal, whatever that normal is for people. But it's almost like a rebirth. Okay, let's just kind of what is it you really want to do? Because if you were able to survive COVID, if you were able to come out with your in your right mind, and you may be seeing your life like, okay, what do I really want to do? You know, what is worth my time? How can I invest my time? What matters to me right now?
Right.
And I want to give the last word to you. And I'm so grateful to Gregory Burrus for connecting us tonight. Because like I said, before we were actually recording, we've crossed paths so many times.
Right.
And I'm so impressed by you, and just inspired by your commitment to follow through with things, and how you've impacted so many people's lives with just living your own dream. How
well, you can sing, young lady. You can sing.
But you got that piano now. You got to learn how to play it. You could add another. I can come sing by that grand piano, but you got to learn how to play it, right?
Exactly. Come on now.
So I'm going to give you the final word, CC. So if there's anything that you want to say about all the things that you have accomplished, or whatever you'd like to leave this virtual audience with, keeping in mind that what I appreciate so much about Gregory Burrus is that he really does document living history.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have this video to show. Your sons will see it. Mm-hmm. Their families will see it. You know, it will live on. So what would you like to say to your audience in the future?
I would say live in the moment. I know I'm guilty of this. I'm always planning and pre-planning and post-planning, and that's great, but you do have to live in the moments at times, because tomorrow is not promised. So I've learned to do that through COVID. I think COVID kind of settled everybody down and gave you an opportunity to think. And I'm glad that I had that opportunity, because I don't know how long it may have taken me to actually jump into founding I Love Beautiful Places. It was kind of in the back of my mind. And the other thing I would say is believe that you can have anything that you like, no matter what anyone else says. You just have to believe in yourself, believe in God, believe in the universe, and amazing things can happen. If I died tomorrow, there's nothing that I would say I wish I had done, because I've always just pretty much done whatever I wanted to do. It may not have always made sense to others, but it always made sense to me. So believe in yourself. That's what I would say.